Richardson will keep this one. Richardson at the 10. Lowers his shoulder. First and goal.
All right, folks, 2025 is here, and the corresponding season is right around the corner. For some NFL players, this ain't just another season. No, it is the season. We're talking career crossroads and contracts hanging on by a thread. Some of these guys are former stars clinging to relevance, while others are unproven talents running out of excuses. And all of them are on the hot seat. So buckle up, because we're counting down NFL players who absolutely have to deliver in 2025, because it is make or break for them.
Miami, the Jets, and the Chargers. Roethlisberger will throw it flat-footed, intercepted.
Dre Green Law, LB, Denver Broncos. Dre Green Law's move to the Mile High City comes with equally high expectations and a growingly concerning history of injuries. The Broncos were wise to structure his contract in a way that allows them to treat the 3-year deal as a 1-year audition, and with Greenlaw already nursing a strained hamstring, the pressure is certainly on.
This 15.5 sacks, 2nd and 10. They go out, and he is swapped.
Greenlaw, when healthy, is a tone-setting thumper who flies around the field like he's got somewhere to be and someone to hit. He was a core piece of that ferocious Niners defense, but both his availability and his ability have been called into question as of late. And for him to maintain his staying power in the league, he's going to need to prove it in a big way during his first season as a Bronco. At the end of the day, Denver is not exactly overflowing with elite defensive leadership right now, but they are young and talented. And there's great opportunity for Greenlaw to reestablish himself. You know, if he can deliver. But man, if he can't stay healthy and perform, his future in Denver, and perhaps the NFL, could be in jeopardy. Anthony Richardson, QB, Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson now enters 2025 not just at a crossroads, but standing in the middle of football's version of a busy highway, hoping not to get pancaked by the expectations and subsequent disappointments. The Colts rolled the dice on him at 4th overall in 2023, betting that his rare blend of size, speed, and arm talent would override his rawness.
The Indianapolis Colts select Anthony Richardson, quarterback, Florida.
But so far, those flashes have been lightning in a bottle rare, and the injuries have been far too common. At this point, he needs to prove that he can do something other than sub himself out mid-game and throw high-velocity incompletions. Colts fans want to believe. Hell, most football wants to believe. I mean, he has had his moments where he's been electric, but if Richardson doesn't show that he's more than just a preseason Pro Bowl fantasy, Indy might be moving on, and fast, because the flashes have been far too infrequent.
Richardson will keep this one. Richardson at the 10. Lowers his shoulder. First and goal.
Bottom line, if he can't validate himself as a legit NFL pro this year, he may never get the chance to again. Gino Stone, CB, Cincinnati Bengals. There were high expectations for Gino Stone when the Bengals brought him in last season from division rival Baltimore, where he had just completed a breakout season. He absolutely thrived in the Ravens system, picking off 7 passes in his first year with more responsibilities.
Miami, the Jets, and the Chargers. Roethlisberger will throw it flat-footed, intercepted.
So the Bengals nabbed him, hoping that he'd bring some of that ball hawk energy across state lines, and felt really good about it. Unfortunately, the operation did not go as planned. It took him 7 weeks to get his first interception in the Bengals system, and they weren't even able to properly celebrate the occasion because, well, he was injured on the very same play.
Well, we got 2 injured Cincinnati defenders, Gino Stone and Von Bell.
That said, he did start to find his groove within the Bengals system toward the final quarter of the year. Between week 13 and 15, Stone collected 3 interceptions, and wouldn't you know it, the defense picked up and the team went on a 5-game winning streak, just narrowly missing the playoffs. To his credit, his ability to heat up late was a big spark for the playoff push. But 2025 has to be more fireworks and less kindling. If he doesn't bring it this season, well, he could find himself as just another guy who peaked way too early. Von Miller, Edge, FA. There was a time not too long ago when adding Von Miller to your defense felt like typing cheat codes into Madden. He was the closer, the big game assassin, the one-piece-away move that teams made when they were serious about chasing rings. I mean, heck, just ask the 2021 Rams. But now, well, Von's not hunting rings, he's hunting relevance. Yeah, now he's just trying to find a roster spot. Buffalo paid him big money, and to say that the production was absent is, well, that's a massive understatement. 6 6 sacks in 2 years and an off-field storm cloud that won't stop raining. And we have just scratched the surface on the off-field issues. Legal troubles and controversy have followed him into free agency, and, well, let's be honest, that's not exactly what playoff-bound GMs are itching to bring into their locker rooms. Especially not when the on-field payoff is not guaranteed. At his age, it's gonna have to be a team that thinks it seriously has a chance at a Super Bowl run and is just a postseason sack or 2 away. Assuming Miller does get signed, which, since this is the NFL, he probably will, he's gonna need to prove that his lack of production in Buffalo is not the norm, and that he can be a meaningful contributor for a contender. But if 2025 looks anything like his Buffalo stint, that Hall of Fame speech might be arriving sooner than expected. Deontay Johnson, WR, Cleveland Browns. Deontay Johnson's career arc has gone from promising young star to NFL journeyman in record time. 5 teams in roughly a year isn't just a red flag, it is almost impossible. No, it is a parade of red flags wrapped in a cautionary tale. Once pegged as a budding wide receiver 1 in Pittsburgh after a 107-catch, 1,161-yard season in 2021,
Trubisky, they handle the rush, he throws it, laying out Deontay Johnson.
Johnson now finds himself clinging to a 1-year vet minimum deal in Cleveland with 0 guarantees, both literally and figuratively. The talent has always been there. Quick feet, sharp routes, and the ability to get open in the tightest of spaces. But drops, inconsistency, and a few choice behavioral decisions have really overshadowed his skill set. A few actually might be underselling it. He has made a mess of things in damn near every single locker room he's been in. His infamous refusal to enter a game in Baltimore because he didn't like his role? Yeah, that didn't exactly help his rep in a league where buy-in is non-negotiable. Now he lands in Cleveland with one last shot to clean up the attitude, prove that he can be a steady contributor, and shed the head case label. And oh boy, what a place to do it. Hey, at least he's joining a team with low expectations, and one where he doesn't need to be a star anymore. He just needs to be a pro. But beware, if he flames out there, well, that could be a wrap for what was once an extremely promising career. Joey Bosa, DE, Buffalo Bills. Once feared as one of the league's most dominant pass rushers, Joey Bosa is now fighting to remind everyone that he is still worth game planning for. Injuries have ravaged the back half of his career, limiting him to just 14 sacks over the past 3 seasons, after racking up 58 in his first 6. The Bills are giving him a prove-it contract, hoping to squeeze what's left of his prime into one last push. In theory, this is a smart move. Buffalo needs someone, literally anyone, to bring heat off the edge after Von Miller flopped spectacularly. But let's not sugarcoat it. Bosa's durability is the elephant in the locker room here. At full strength, yeah, the man can absolutely still wreck a game. The big problem, well, he has not been full strength since 2021.
They're in on Mahomes, and he's taken down. Bosa.
If he can't stay healthy and rediscover even a shadow of his former self, his time as a feared edge rusher and his long-term NFL prospects could be finished. If he continues to struggle with injuries and productivity, the Bills may very well be the last team that he plays for in the NFL. Marshon Latimore, CB, Washington Commanders. The Commanders made a splash by trading for Marshon Latimore, hoping that they were buying a 4-time Pro Bowl lockdown corner. You know, not a guy held together by athletic tape and good intentions. Ever since arriving in DC, he has been more rehab reports than highlight reels. He tweaked a hamstring shortly after getting there, and despite flashes in the postseason, he has not looked like that guy since his New Orleans heyday. The talent has not gone anywhere. Latimore still has the instincts, the technique, and of course the swagger that made him a menace on the boundary. But at age 29 and coming off 2 injury-plagued years, the clock is ticking. Washington has a rising young core and a new regime expecting results. If Latimore doesn't show that he can still be a high-level CB1, well, he might find himself phased out faster than a Dan Snyder scandal. This is his chance to prove that the elite version of Marshon isn't a thing of the past. If he can't recapture some of that swagger that he played with during all those years in New Orleans, well, we could see the curtains get called on Latimore sooner than you think.
Miller. What's it going to be here? Pass is broken up.
Zion Johnson, Los Angeles Chargers. When the Chargers drafted Zion Johnson 17th overall in 2022, they thought they were locking in a building block on the interior line for the next decade. Well, fast forward 3 seasons, and Johnson has been fine, to put it kindly. Yeah, he's been fine. Not dominant, not terrible, just fine. And for a first-round pick, yeah, unfortunately, that's not gonna cut it. Johnson has started 49 games, which, hey, that sounds impressive, until you realize those starts have been riddled with inconsistency, penalties, and far too many moments where he looked completely overwhelmed. The Chargers recently declined his 5th-year option, a not-so-subtle message that it's most likely over for him in LA. But for his future career, it may also be now or never. If there is anyone who's going to demand more from his linemen, it's Jim Harbaugh. Johnson doesn't just need to improve, he needs to become a tone setter. If he doesn't, he'll just be another middling lineman that falls off the radar of NFL GMs. Aaron Rodgers, QB, free agent. What would a make-or-break list be without Aaron Rodgers? Rodgers is a former 4-time MVP, and if he manages to not ostracize himself entirely with the voters, he'll be a first-ballot Hall of Famer. But since he joined the New York Jets 2 seasons ago, it's just sort of been a comedy of errors. Well, I mean, I guess it started as a tragedy with that Achilles tear, but then it just deteriorated into a deranged comedy specifically designed to torture Jets fans, who had really thought they had found their savior. In any case, he very much looked like a 40-year-old quarterback coming off a torn Achilles tendon last year, and did not do enough production-wise to justify his wacky behavior and all the headaches that he caused the team and the media. Now, it looks like he is likely to take his talents to the Steel City, which should be an interesting culture fit to say the very least. But in any case, if Rodgers is going to launch a successful second act, and no, we are not counting that Jets stint as an act at all, now is the time. Rodgers doesn't need another MVP season. He just needs to look like a guy who belongs under center in 2025. Because if this next stop is another flop, well, the last chapter of his storied career could end with a whimper, not a bang. But hey, which players do you think have the biggest make-or-break season on the horizon heading into 2025? Who do you think we were right on here? Who do you think we're wrong about? Was there anyone notable that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton, and you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then hey, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.